Phone 566-2937.
Welcome to the 1999 season premiere of Rams Preview. I'm your host, Kevin Terrell. And as always, I'm joined with Coach Cordray and two guests tonight, Sanchez and Gutierrez. But before we bring out our guests, let's bring on our big guest, the coach. Good evening, Coach.
Hello, Kevin. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Welcome back to another season, first of all.
Yes, it is. Welcome to you, too.
This is our 16th season here in the studio, and I guess we've been doing the telecast now for 17 years, and this is my 18th year at Southgate.
Wow. Quite a few years.
I had enough, huh? Getting the gray hair there to show it.
You've had two games so far this season. The first game was like kissing your sister, 17-17 tied to North Torrance. And then last week you defeated Jefferson, a former I should say, conference rival, 22-14. What do you feel are the strengths of your team so far at the two games?
Well, I believe the number one strength that we have right now is our offensive line. I think that's, as far as we go with victories and things like that, is how well this offensive line is going to play and how they're going to come together and gel. And I believe the second thing that's going to help us is our defense. I think we've improved a lot on defense this year, and we're a little bit more aggressive. And it just seems to be the guys have that feeling of like they're not going to get scored on.
You like that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've been working on that a lot.
Now, conversely, what are some of your weaknesses?
Well, I think our kicking game is still not as strong as I'd like to see it. We've missed 2 or 3 extra points. We've made 2 field goals, but our kickoff team is not as good as I would hope to be, and our punt team's not as good. And we're giving up a little bit too much yardage on the kickoff return.
Your team is inconsistent. Would you attribute that to youth, players being converted from offense to defense, or the fact that it's so early in the season that you're just not getting your bearings?
Probably all those things, because, you know, we did take some guys from defense and brought them into our skill level of the offense, and that's going to take a little bit of time. I think they're doing pretty well, but they need a little bit more polishing and a little bit more time. I think that the younger kids on defense are starting to understand what they have to do. They've been in positions where they've never played before, and it's new to them. But they're catching on pretty quick.
The first game ended in a tie, like I said at the very opening of the show. And afterwards, when I was speaking to you on the field, you looked as though your team had lost. You didn't like tying that game, did you?
No, because I really felt that we did lose the ball game. We dominated the time of possession 32-16. We had 299 yards rushing, another 100 yards passing. And what killed us was getting inside the red zone, which we did 3 times, and we only came away with 9 points, 1 touchdown and a field goal. I felt we should have come away with at least 18 points on touchdowns, and then maybe the 3 extra points would have been 21, and that should have been enough to stop us. The other problem that we had that night was that we threw an interception for a touchdown. Now, you just can't do that. Even though the score was 14-0 at the time we threw the interception, and we went in at halftime 14-6, I didn't think that that should have happened, and we should have gone in with a 14-0 lead. Second half, we came out and we were very flat, and I just didn't understand why. But in the fourth quarter, we picked it up defensively, and on offensively, we couldn't do anything. Just couldn't get over the hump. And we ended up actually tying them because it was 17-14, and we kicked a field goal. But we should have gotten that extra point or the extra touchdown because we were right there. And when you get that, and your defense, you know, they had the ball, and we had a couple of timeouts to use. But on first down, we'd stop them, and I wanted the clock to run, and then I'd stop it on second and third down. But on second down, they got the big play, and then we started again. This next series, first down, we held them. I didn't stop the clock, and then I was going to stop the clock on second down, again another first down. But then the third time is when we stopped it, but it was 2 minutes and some seconds left. And defense played well, and that was an inspired defense that went off the field, and the offense almost pulled it out, but we just didn't quite get it done.
What did you learn about your team, either prior or during that game, I should say, and afterwards, they didn't know going into the game?
Well, the first thing that shocked me is when I gave my pre-game speech to take them out on the field, they were ready to jump up and down and knock me out and get out on the field. That surprised me because I haven't had a team like that for a while that showed that much emotion. And secondly, the defensive spirit that came alive in the fourth quarter was tremendous. Well, we haven't had that kind of defensive spirit here for a long, long time. The offensive spirits have been pretty good over the years, and we've moved the ball consistently, and it's just like business as usual. But defensively, I was really, really surprised at how we handled ourselves emotionally and with the pressure.
The spirit of the team, what do you attribute that to?
Oh, the players. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It's the same speeches year in and year out. It's just the players' reactions. And
it's very honest of you to say that, same speech.
Yeah, because what else are you going to say? I mean, you know what you have to do, and you tell the kids what they got to do, and whether they take it to heart and they want to win. It's about desire, heart, and I think this team has a lot of that.
Let's go to the highlights. This is a defensive highlight of a fumble recovery in the Jefferson game last weekend.
This really was a turning point in our first game here at home. We get a strip by Banuelos, and then Michael Terry gets on the ball and gives us good field position at the 48-yard line of our own. But that's the play that kind of turned our season, our game around last week at the beginning. Because Jefferson is an outstanding football club. They had so much speed, size up front, and that was kind of a play we needed to have happen.
How do you defend against speed?
Stand in front of it. And don't let it go behind you. If you keep it in front of you, you're okay. But again, you know, it's real simple, but you got to keep in front of it.
Your players seem to step up to another level. They seemed kind of lax in the first game. Last week's game, they really wanted to win the game, and they proved it on the field. Who are some of the leaders on your team this year?
Well, our quarterback, Hugo Avendando, is pretty much an offensive leader in the backfield. The offensive line captain is basically Hector Benabi. He knows all the plays and everything, and the way he's going to make those guys on the offensive line block and play is definitely going to be to our advantage. Defensively, Alex Banuelos and Emmanuel Mora, those guys on the linebackers. Eric Torres, I call him Steve because his brother played.
Sure.
Eric Torres is going to be an outstanding defensive lineman. Christian Aguirre. And then we got some pretty good players in the backfield. Jerry Sanchez as a safety, and Jose Lopez on the corners. They're pretty good. We got a couple young guys, Rios and Jones is coming around, but Garcia got the ball the other day in the interception. So they're coming around.
Sure. Another highlight. This is Pedro Castaneda. Excuse me there. Getting confused there, Coach. With a touchdown run, a short run.
This was off of our goal line, and we went out one line a little bit farther. Normally it's 22 power, but we went 24 power. And again, great offensive line blocking, and we got down into the red zone, and we punched it in.
Made you very happy there, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like scoring touchdowns.
Well, after the game, you were telling me how much you liked winning that game. The fact that it's no longer a conference rival didn't make a difference. The fact that it's a victory will help you feel better about this whole thing, wasn't it?
Hank Johnson is an outstanding coach and a class gentleman, and he always has class teams and outstanding teams, very well coached and very well behaved, but they have the desire to want to win. And when you beat a good ball club, you know you've done a good job with your kids.
This next highlight's interception by Carlos Garcia.
This was a young guy that we've put in. This is his first year on the varsity, and we've been telling him, go get the football, and he hadn't been doing it in practice, but there he did. And it paid off, the drill that our defensive back coach, Levon Clayton's been using, and it worked out. And Levon's been telling me that Garcia just wouldn't go to the ball, wouldn't go to the ball, wouldn't go to the ball, and then he steps up in the game and does it. And maybe this is a coming out game for him.
Maybe it is. Here's a field goal, I should say, by one of our guests tonight, Ricky Gutierrez, making the score 9-0.
We've been having problems with our kicking game, and this time we stayed solid up front, and Ricky gets a nice kick, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that was an excellent field goal right there. We had an opportunity to score another touchdown, but we just didn't get it. But we did get we did get 3 points out of it in the red zone.
Here's a touchdown. This is Octavio Cortez, a 70-yard run. Big run in the game.
A defensive back from last year, and I want you to watch this move right here to line of scrimmage, and then cuts it back inside, and he sees nothing but daylight. And that was a little mix-up in the offensive line blocking, but it's such a big surge from the defensive line, they ran themselves right out of the play. I don't think it was anything that we did, it just caught him.
Here's a catch by Navarro later in the game, Coach.
Now this catch right here really was what I considered us winning the ball game. We needed a first down, and Hugo comes back, sets and makes a nice throw, and Navarro slides and catches the ball at the 50-yard line, and we take it down and get the winning touchdown.
This next highlight is a stop at the goal line. This is the Rams defense coming to the forefront, something you just spoke about.
7 minutes and 49 seconds. We held them down here, and this was the last series. They get it right down here at the 2-yard line right there, and they had about a minute left to go, and we hold them at the 1-yard line there for 4 downs.
And then come up, this is the last of those 4 downs. This is the last play of the game, biggest play of the game also.
Watching the quarterback go around the left side, and right there
Stuffed.
is a great job by Pedro Castaneda, who's a running back, and you can see our kids were a little excited.
A little bit. You like the enthusiasm, don't you?
I love that stuff. I love it.
What's your feeling about this realignment that's going on in the conference?
Well, I think it's going to be very good for Southgate. I think getting into the old Eastern League, return to the old Eastern League, that's going to have Huntington Park, Bell, Jordan, Garfield, and Roosevelt in our league. It's going to be very interesting because I've been here 18 years, I told you earlier, and all 18 years there's been no one team that has dominated for more than a year or two as a champion. It's just been mixed around, maybe a year or two for Roosevelt, a year or two for Bell, a year or two for us. It's just going to keep rotating.
Okay. We're going to rotate to a commercial break and be back with our 2 guests right after this.
Hi, Rams fans. I'm Rule.
I'm Marcia. And I'm Leda.
Southeast Awards is proud to once again sponsor Southgate High School sports.
Ofrecemos una completa línea de plumas Cross y Schaefer, trofeos, placas, medallas y cintas para los que se merecen lo mejor.
We feature computerized engraving, prompt service, and quality at discount prices.
Southeast Awards at 9531 Atlantic Avenue. Phone 566-1972.
For our 2 guests. On the left, free safety, Jerry Sanchez, and next to him is wide receiver, Ricky Gutierrez. Good evening, guys.
Good afternoon.
How are you tonight?
Fine.
Ask you first, Jerry. Do you feel it's a responsibility of you guys being seniors to lead this team this year to, if you will, the promised land?
Yeah. Well, everybody like looking up to us, like expecting more from us, like look at these guys. Like, we gotta show leadership, so next year when it's their turn to be a senior, like, we gotta be like them, we gotta be like exactly like them. Can't mess around, nothing.
Do you feel it adds more pressure to you guys, Ricky?
Yeah, because they look up to us, and they see whatever we do, they do. So we gotta keep it on positive note, out on the field.
So you guys are aware of the fact that you're being watched?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure it keeps you to be at your best at all times because what you do is a reflection upon them.
Yeah.
Does that add any pressure to you? I mean, do you sometimes you want to let your guard down and just be, like it was back when you were an underclassman, but you can't do that anymore because you're expected to do so much now? You first.
Well, in a way, not really. Just like, I just think about like, let me act normal, but when we're out there on the field, we gotta come out hype. I even tell them during practice, like, you can't mess around because in the game, we're gonna be after you guys. We're like, come on, you gotta be pumped up and everything. I'm like, all right. Like, just don't lag it.
Is that the way it is, Ricky?
Yeah, that's the way it is on the field. Yeah, the way you practice, the way we play, that's what they tell us. I mean, it's true.
Coach, you rely very heavily on your seniors to lead your team, don't you?
Well, I don't believe you can win a championship without having a heavy-laden senior team. We have about 40 seniors on the team this year.
Wow.
About 30 underclassmen. All of them juniors except for one, which is a 10th grader, and big Hilario Mora. He's 10th grader. He looks like a senior out there physically, but mentally and physically he's still like a 10th grader playing. But he's doing a good job. Yeah, these guys are, you know, the heart and soul of our offense and defense right now. When we go in a huddle, we were talking about Hector Bernabe at the beginning. He was the captain of the offensive line, and he kind of keeps things in the huddle pretty straight, huh?
Yeah, tells everybody what to do. You know, he's like, you block him, you got him, and you know, and you did this. And Hector, he knows what he knows what he's doing out there.
And the kids listen to him and they watch him. And I mean, Santos is off from the defensive line, and De La Rosa's in the backfield from defense, and so is Castaneda and Cortez. So there's some offensive guys back there that are taking back seats, but Hector and those guys are working pretty good. Defensively, when you went out there for the goal line defense, and there was a lot of offensive guys out there at that time, what was the talk in the huddle?
Well, really, we're like saying, if you guys really want to win this game, we got to stop them. And then that's when everybody got pumped up, and we're like look at the crowd, they're all into it too. Like, we're putting our hands up, come on. Once we saw the crowd, we looked up there. We knew there was a lot of people, and we looked up, like, damn. I didn't know there was that many people. so that, they gave us our chills. Like, we're like, damn. Once we stopped them, and we won the game, we're like, damn, that's when everything kicked in.
I'll tell you right now, that's exactly right, because you know, when you're during the game, or you really don't notice what's going on, although you got a feeling that there's a sense around you that something's happening, right? A lot of excitement for you. I walked out. There was timeout. I walk out on the field, and I turn around and walk back in to the bench. I just kind of like looked up there, and I saw all these people standing up on their feet, and just a rise. I hadn't had that sensation since 1988 when we were at El Camino in the championship game. You guys just, I know it pumped you. It pumped me. I turned around ready. I was ready to play myself.
Yeah, that's what we were. We're like, come on, guys, look at the crowd. You gotta show them what's up.
And actually, we were so excited. I thought we could put the ball down there about 3 or 4 more times and let them try it again. Huh?
That's how it seemed like. They're out there forever.
Keep going, keep going.
Like that.
Let's go to some highlights. This is a highlight of Jerry sacking the quarterback from last week's game.
You remember this play, Jerry?
Yeah.
Down here. Quarterback tries to pitch, and this was out of goal line. That was out of goal line, right?
Yeah.
That's when you get a chance to play the linebacker spot.
Yeah, that's when I just saw him perfect. I'm like, I gotta get this guy. I know he's quick. I just try to run in an angle.
See, they tried to run the option right there, and the defensive, what we call the shooter, he was right on the quarterback right now, and so he was ready to make the pitch, but he couldn't. So he had to swim that guy, and then that just gives Jerry the opportunity because his back was coming automatically right there, so it puts him right in a good position, and that's the kind of play. We get kind of plays like that. Well, you just get so excited when you get those kind of plays.
Was the responsibility pitchman or quarterback in that play?
Actually, it was the pitch man.
Because he never pitched it.
But he didn't pitch it.
Yeah.
And if he hadn't got him, then he, you know, we had another guy out there waiting for him also, but. The way these guys played defense that last Friday night was unbelievable. That goal line defense especially.
Yeah, we all got hyped up right there.
When I watched the secondary, I get the impression that Jerry's the quarterback of that unit. Is that true, Coach?
Well, I'd say yes. That's his responsibility. It's going to be this responsibility this weekend. We know that number 14, the tight end, is the main man that they're going to try to throw the ball to. And he's going to see if he can get him. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to come down to that.
And the highlight of Jerry, this is him stopping the run in the Jefferson game last week.
Again, we're in goal line defense. And you got the running back. And there's the guy, the shooter, number 10, and then Jerry comes in and picks it and cleans him up. And, you know, some years you got a goal line defense and they just all work together real smooth. Everybody does their job and everything's real smooth. Right now, the goal line defense is probably our best weapon that hurts teams more than anything else. We threw it at North Torrance. Boom. Stopped him real fast. And then again last week we used it 2 or 3 times before the fourth quarter series, and again it worked. So these guys are doing a good job with it. The key is the real strong guys up front, which is Eric Torres and Hector Bernabe, De La Rosa, and Santos. They're not letting anybody come up the middle. And that number 30 last week, I mean, he hit a wall. He couldn't get a wall. He couldn't get in. Quarterback couldn't get in. So they knew they had to go around the outside. And that's when we get him.
Yeah. Ricky, now that Ronald Johnson's gone from the offense, as far as receiving is concerned, you're the man. Are you ready to assume that responsibility, being the man?
Yeah, you know, it's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it, and I think I can handle that job.
Man for the job. I knew the job was dangerous when you took it, huh?
Yeah.
Do you wish, and you can say it right here, Coach won't jump over the table, do you wish you guys threw the ball a lot more?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
It's going to be more passes in the scramble flex offense that we haven't seen yet, Coach?
Oh, definitely. We got a lot of stuff. But you know what? Like I was telling them, the game dictates whether we pass or not. And we want to pass when we want to and not when we have to. And right now, that's what we're doing. And Ricky's ready. And John Navarro has stepped up and done a good job. And we got 3 or 4 other guys in the wings that I know that can catch the ball. And we're ready to go.
Just tell them they want to do it a little more, right?
Yeah.
Here's a couple of highs of Ricky. This first one was the field goal that we saw earlier in the game. Made the game 9-0.
Now, this is a good kick. This is the best kick you've had all year right there.
Kick is up.
Punched it right down the middle of the field. Keep your head down. Good steps. And you approach the ball like you meant to kick it, instead of being a little bit tentative and pulling your hips out and pulling your shoulders over to the side. What do you think you need to do to improve making them every one?
Practice more. Practice more.
With a rush?
With the rush.
To keep the offensive line more protection.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is there a different mindset going from playing receiver to having to play kicker?
No, it's the same to me.
All the same?
Yeah, it's just the same. It's just concentration and kicking it and catching it. It's the same.
That's not something you would say being a former kicker.
Yeah, well, it is, because you're going to have the ball.
Yeah.
The ball is yours, and you're going to be you're going to be in the spot with the ball. You don't want to drop it. You don't want to miss it. What was that guy Sean, somebody that missed the punt in the NFL playoff games that one time for the New York Giants, and in the end zone he missed the ball. He's got it in his hands.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You got the ball.
Yeah.
Ricky's got the ball. He's not going to miss it.
Yeah. So either way you go, you have to perform, either catch it or kick it.
Yeah.
It's all on you. Another highlight we have here with Ricky. This is a catch that he makes. He goes from kicker to receiver. This is also in the Jefferson game.
Cortez De La Torre, the backfield. De La Rosa, pardon me. Amadal looks, throws, caught by Gutierrez. Tries to bounce to the outside, to the sideline.
Now, we talked about that. Nice job of getting the release, a nice job of making the catch, but he made a little circle, turned around, and he didn't get the yardage out of there that I thought he should have gotten.
Where should he have turned, Coach?
Maybe inside and straight up the field, what we call the knife move, which catch the ball, knife up the field, instead of catching the ball and running around in a circle and trying to find somebody not to hit you. But he's working on that. We'll get that down a little bit better, and that's a big play for us. That's our one pattern, and we're going to be. Which pattern do you like the best?
All of them.
How about the Ricky screen we haven't shown yet?
That one. And
Ricky
the
screen?
And the 6?
The 6. I like the 6.
The 6 is the deep pattern?
Yeah, that's the bomb.
The bomb.
Yeah.
The bomb. Throw the bomb, Coach. What's the Ricky screen?
It's the same one we did with Johnson last year,
Okay.
where he takes a little hitch step and comes back in. We run it about 4 or 5 different ways right now, but Ricky's going to, you'll see it. It's coming.
Having plays named after you is a pretty big honor, I would think.
Yeah.
Something you like a lot?
Yeah. Because I know the ball's coming to me. Ricky screen, it's coming to me.
So this weekend you guys have a game against a Valley team, and before the show, I should say, we were talking about, all the hype about Granada Hills. What's the mindset of this week's game?
Just going out there and just playing our game. Play them. Just play the way we know how to play and just beat them. That's right now. I think that's what we want. Just going out there and just beating them. They're ranking number 7. But once we're done with them, they're going to rank lower than that.
The confidence is this more of the spirit you were speaking of earlier, Coach.
He's got it. We'll see what happens. We've talked about that Saturday. We said, well, where are we going to go? We're going to flatten out now and say season's over and we won a big game, or is that just going to be the first step on the ladder to move on toward a championship?
How much contact are you allowed to have with these guys in the off season?
Well, we don't have any contact with them in the off season except for weight training.
Are you allowed to be present for that?
Yes, we have a weight training class in the afternoon, and that's all we do is lift weights. Or they'll run.
Okay. I asked because the rapport you guys have, it seemed like this has all been building. Just looking forward to the '99 season. It's something you guys talked about in the off season, and I don't know if you were allowed to talk with these guys to build upon this, because you guys seem to have some momentum going on right now.
We're allowed to have weight training during sixth period, and then after school if there's some guys that need to lift or whatever, and we have that. But yeah, the guys stay together pretty much all year. We start in January, and they are programmed in the sixth period gym class, and they work. If they're not now, Ricky, you ran track, so you're not around the football players too much except till after track practice when you go in and lift a little bit after that. And Jerry, you kind of lifted with them on and off the season, and then they played passing league games during the summertime. So it's basically a year-round program for the guys that are coming back from last year, and the new guys coming in and getting used to each other, and they build camaraderie and spirit.
The track experience, are you able to convey that and relay it over to football?
Yeah, the way, the speed, the way I run, how to keep my arms moving. The faster my arms go, the faster my legs will follow. That's what I've been taught from Coach Hernandez.
It was Paul Hernandez. Okay. So Jerry, Ricky, thank you both for being on Rams Preview. Back with more Rams Preview right after this.
In all of Southern California, there are only 2 Angus beef distributors, and we've got one of them. The Maloney Meat Company at Firestone Boulevard and State Street is your licensed, full-service, certified Angus beef distributor. Angus beef is truly the best beef you will ever taste. See for yourself. Give yourself the finest our planet has to offer. From the Maloney Meat Company, 3255 Firestone Boulevard. Quality meats from quality people.
Epilogue of Rams Preview. Coach, what's the game plan for Granada Hills this weekend?
Blitz. One word, blitz. We're going to try to come from every angle we can possibly get there and send as many people as possible. Hopefully, get to the quarterback. Hopefully, make the plays downfield and put pressure on them at the line of scrimmage.
Are they 2-0?
They're 1-1. They beat North Hollywood by a touchdown or so, and they lost last week a couple points to Royal High School out in Simi Valley. They got a good passer, strong line, good defense, quick, and excellent receivers.
This is the first time Southgate's ever played them?
As far as I know, I believe this is the first time we played Granada Hills. Okay. John Elway's home.
John Elway's home.
We're going to be at John Elway Stadium.
That's right.
Our guys are pumped.
I'm pumped. You should be pumped. Be there. Rams, Granada Hills, next week, 7 p.m. at Granada Hills. That's it for Rams Preview. Good night.